If you are stepping on a college campus this semester, this fall semester, this video is exactly for you. Today I'm going to be giving y'all a campus packing list so that when you go to college, you can be prepared and successful for your year at college. This is your first time seeing my face on your screen right now. My name is JShxn. I am a college student at Alabama State University. It's going to be my sophomore year coming up, so I'm going to, just be kind of giving some things that I brought to school or some things that you might want to bring. I also did a YouTube video for like when I moved into college, so you all can go and watch that too. Like, comment, subscribe, and for this video as well, like, comment, and subscribe at the end of this video to let me know if y'all want more videos or anything else like that. I separated this video up into 5 different categories. We have dorm essentials, clothing and laundry, tech and electronics, school supplies, kitchen and like food essentials, and just like random must-have. The first category I'm going to start with is dorm essentials. So for me personally, I got like twin XL sheets, I got a comforter, I got pillows and pillowcases, I got a mattress topper, I got a blanket, I got a fan, I got like, storage bins that you can put under your bed. You can use that for anything you might need that don't fit in your closet. For your clothes, stuff like that. You could just slide that in under your bed if that's how your dorm is made. I got a trash can, I got trash bags, I got a full-length mirror for my room. Me personally, I wanted that, I needed that. So yeah. And extension cords and like a power strip. Now for the twin XL sheets, I recommend getting twin XL because me personally, I like for my sheets to hang over my bed, so like it won't show everything that's under the bed. So for me personally, I get twin XL sheets. Make sure you get you a good comforter. Make sure you get a good comforter because sometimes college beds don't be like very comfortable. So make sure you get you a good comforter. Make sure you get you a mattress topper. I recommend this so bad, a mattress topper. Those beds are like, sometimes they don't be so comfortable to sleep in, so just make sure you get you a mattress, like, a mattress topper. I got a blanket, like, to decorate the top of my bed when I make it up and stuff like that. Get you some command hooks and command strips too. It might be stuff that you like to hang on your wall, like your pictures and stuff like that, so I recommend getting command hooks or command strips. A trash can, it came in handy, and like extension cords and like power strips. I think in my dorm personally, I had like two things where you could hook in the walls, so I got extension cords, so like you could hook more stuff up in the extension cords. Like for me personally, I brought my air fryer to school, TV, stuff like that, lights that you put on a wall, stuff like that. The next topic I'm gonna talk about is clothing and laundry. Me personally, when I was first going to college, a lot of people said don't bring all of your clothes. But me personally, like when I first got to college, I was like, oh, maybe this might be too much. But throughout the year, you're most definitely going to wear all of those clothes. Like, for instance, I know I said I when I was coming home, I brought a lot of clothes back home, but clothes like that I would bring it back up there with me. So it's better to just like take clothes that you'll need when you go up there. Me for instance, through the fall, for me at my school, it'd be very hot, so I like to pack a lot of shorts, like t-shirts, stuff like that. Now I suggest really bringing your winter clothes as well because it gets very cold when you're at college. Sometimes it could snow, sometimes it doesn't. So like your clothes, like your jackets, your hoodies, stuff like that, I would suggest you bring a lot of socks, underwear, stuff like that. Please at least bring like a whole, like for me personally, I recommend getting hangers. Hangers come in handy like real bad. You can put your clothes and your pants on top of those if that's how you want to do your room. Sneakers, like I have a lot of sneakers I bring, like Jordans, New Balance, and stuff like that, but make sure you bring some shoes that are comfortable to you to walk around campus. See, my campus, I walk a lot, so I'll most likely sometimes my everyday shoe might be my New Balances because they're very comfortable to wear. So I recommend bringing some very comfortable shoes that you can wear. Bring like dress clothes, like like for presentations and stuff, you might have bring collared shirts, button up shirts, ties, pants and stuff like that. Me personally, since I'm going to school my sophomore year, I'm going to, like, for laundry, detergent, you know, stuff like that, I recommend getting a whole bunch of, like, the powder and, like, putting it in a container so you can bring it. Lasts very long. It does. So I recommend doing that. And also get you a lint roller, you know, just because you don't want to be walking outside with all the lint on you looking like that and stuff. So I recommend getting a lint roller as well. Workout clothes. Me personally, sometimes I went to the gym, so I would bring, like, you know, some workout clothes that I could wear inside the gym. You know, they only sometimes really give you like a specific thing that you could wear inside of the gym. So I would really recommend bringing, like, you know, workout wear and stuff like that. My third topic is going to be tech and electronics. When I went to college, I brought my laptop, I brought my iPad, I brought my phone. I made sure I kept me a laptop charger, but, you know, Type-C charger. You have a lot of Type-C electronics this time, so you really only need one charger if you got a Type-C iPhone, and, like, you know, computer, iPad, all goes the same. So I made sure I bring my charger with me. Headphones and earbuds. When you're walking around campus, sometimes you just want to, you know, listen to your music walking, like, from the cab to the library, you know, stuff like that. So I brought headphones and earbuds. I have an Apple Watch, so I brought my Apple Watch charger. I make sure that's charged every day. I brought a speaker. You know, sometimes I'll be in my room. Sometimes I actually play music off of my TV, so that was one thing. HDMI cable. I have a PlayStation, so that's why I brought that. A flash drive. For my major in college, I have a lot of you know, classes where we do presentations and stuff like that, and sometimes you have to save them on a flash drive, so when you go to class you can insert them. So I do highly recommend bringing flash drives to school. Another thing I brought was a mouse. I stopped using a mouse, but if you want to do that you can. It might be helpful to you, but not really to me, so I stopped bringing one. But a mouse, like for my first semester, I was using a mouse. So if that's something you want to do, you can do that. My next topic is school supplies. I brought a backpack. I got off Amazon. Notebooks. I need different notebooks for different classes, different topics or different things that we talk about, so I use notebooks. Folders, you know, well, I only brought one folder because nowadays we use a lot of electronics, so you don't really need all the like, you know, folders and like that, because we really keep stuff on the computers. But sometimes in some classes that might be different circumstances, so you may need a folder and stuff like that. Pens, pencils. Pens, I recommend getting pens. A lot of professors prefer you to use pens in college, so I would really recommend getting pens and, like, bringing, like, at least 1-2 pencils, but mostly pens. Highlighters. You might be reading something that the professor is talking about and something that they want you to highlight to know to keep up, so I recommend bringing highlighters. For me, I got a planner off of Amazon that I, like, hung on my wall. I use that. It helped me to know when is this going to happen, when is this going to happen, because my freshman year I had a lot of stuff going on, so it just helped me know what's going to happen and when. Calendar. I use my phone for my calendar, so, like, you know, to insert stuff, like, you know, your teacher might have a project that you might have a project due some day next week. So I use my calendar for stuff like that. A binder, that's what I brought instead of a folder, because most of my classes in my freshman year, I didn't really require to write on stuff, so I use my computer a lot, but I brought a binder just in case it might be something that I need to keep. My next topic is going to be kitchen and food essentials. I brought two water bottles to school. That was my Circle water bottle and my Stanley. I recommend bringing in water bottles because you walk around campus a lot, and so, you know, sometimes you might get thirsty, different things like that. A mini fridge. Some campuses already have fridges on their campus, but some don't. Me, for instance, I had to bring my own mini fridge, but you know there might be a certain size for your campus, so you have to check first. But I recommend bringing one. A microwave. For my freshman year, I didn't have a microwave because me and my cousin shared a room and he had one. But I know for this year, I'm gonna need to bring one. So that might be a good thing for you to bring to college, a microwave, because you know sometimes you might not want to go to the campus dining hall and eat and stuff like that. Plates. For me, I brought a lot of excessive plates and like stuff like that. You don't need that much, but you can if you want. Cups. I brought cups because you know sometimes I buy drinks that I put in my fridge that I just pour in the cup and you know I drink it. Forks, spoons, knife. For me personally, I had this thing on Amazon that I bought that you could put over your refrigerator to like on the side of it. You could like insert like plates, knives, cups, stuff like that that you could sit on the side of your refrigerator. So me personally, I got that. It was very helpful for me to keep up with stuff and to know where I put stuff at. So I recommend getting one of those too. I'll insert that on the screen. Dish soap. I recommend getting dish soap, even though in college you really only wash in the sink, but still it's the same thing because you want your stuff to be clean. You don't want your room to be just smelling like nasty old food. So I recommend getting dish soap. Getting a sponge as well. I recommend getting one of those because it came in handy when I was in college. For my snacks, that's why I said I recommend getting the bins, because for me personally, I use the bin, like one of the rolls on the bin, I use that for my snacks, like you know chips, or like you know for me personally I like oatmeal pie, so I had oatmeal pies. I did different things. Random must-haves. An umbrella. You never know when it's going to rain, so I kept one on my closet door just in case it ever rained when I was going outside. Sometimes it might rain after I go outside, so I sometimes forget, but still, just in case, it's good to keep an umbrella on your room. A first aid kit, kept one of those. You never know what can happen. A flashlight, I kept one of those down there. Sometimes some dorms have power outages, so you might, you know, want to keep a flashlight. Scissors and tape, I kept that. Only reason I had those things was because when I was doing my room when I first moved in, I was putting up a lot of stuff where I needed scissors or I needed tape, so I had those things and already in my dorm. Air freshener, cleaning wipes, hand sanitizer. I had those things in my dorm too, just in case you don't want your dorm to not smell good. So you know, good to keep those things on hand. Important documents like my ID, student stuff. Like I kept that. I had like a little bin that my auntie bought me. It's like a little lock that you could put on it and stuff like that. I kept my important stuff, all my important stuff in there, so you can get that to put that under your bed. You know, one other thing I suggest doing on campus is making sure, a lot of people, you know, do card these days because you know they be having the things where you can just tap your card. But one thing I do recommend is make sure you have some cash on you when you're in college. You're gonna probably always need some cash. Not always need it, but you're most likely in some situations going to need cash for different things, so make sure you do that. Also, for me personally, I have a student ID. What I did for my student IDs was I got a thing from the gift store from school, and I put my student ID in there. It came in handy, so you won't lose your ID. You can, you know, keep it on you just in case you need it and stuff like that. Now, for things you don't need, me personally, don't pack over excessive appliances, like, you know, stuff that you really don't need. Like if you saying, oh, I really don't need it, but you're still bringing it, don't bring it, because your room is just so small. And for you, it's different for different people, different doors. If you're watching this video, you might have your own room for your while you're at college, or you might be sharing a room with somebody. So just don't bring a lot of stuff that might affect the person that you're staying with, or you as well, because you don't want your room to look too like you're hoarding stuff, basically. So I just would say, you know, just don't bring over excessive stuff. Things I wish before moving into college is my freshman year. Now I know what my room looked like, but what I should have did for some of my stuff was I should have waited until I moved in to get some of my stuff, because I didn't know what the room looked like. So like I said, don't bring excessive stuff because you don't know like what your room will look like, or if it be, you know, how your dorm is. Things to buy like right after you move in. Like I said this before in the first category was please make sure you bring storage bins. You might not need them, but you know, it's different for different people, so different people might need them and stuff like that. But for me, it came in handy, so I really recommend bringing storage bins. I know for me, when I was in college, I love that I had a mattress topper. I brought my TV. I brought like a little stand to put my TV on in college. When I was in college, so my TV was like right in front of my bed in college. I could insert a picture of what my dorm looked like on here. But you know, also one thing I do also recommend, blackout curtains. I recommend that if you're not like if you have like morning classes and you don't like the sun beaming in your face when you first waking up, I recommend blackout curtains. But you know, after you wake up and stuff, you know, you drink your water and you know, you get all that type of stuff like that, you might want to open up your curtains. But still, for me, I recommend bringing blackout curtains. Questions like, do you need a printer? For me personally, I know my school, we did like a little point system thing where we on our IDs where we could tap it and we can go to, you know, and print stuff. You might not always need to print stuff, so I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you know, some schools you can bring a printer, so I'm not gonna say I wouldn't recommend it, but you know, it's up to you. It's up to your school and what you think you might need. Should you bring a TV? Me personally, I brought a TV. I like watching TV when I go back to my dorm, so me personally, I brought a TV, but that's up to you. That's something you might not like or something you might not do. Because I also brought my computer, my iPad, and stuff like that, so I still bought a TV, but that's up to you. Is a mini fridge worth it? Me personally, I'm going to say a mini fridge is most definitely worth it. It might be some things that you don't like eating in the caf or different things that you want to eat and you can keep in your mini fridge when you buy your groceries for your dorm. So I would most definitely recommend bringing a mini fridge. Do you need a coffee maker? I brought a coffee maker. A lot of people don't bring coffee makers and stuff like that, but me personally, I brought a coffee maker. I liked it, so I brought me one, and it really came in handy sometimes because I like coffee, so I brought a coffee maker. An air fryer. A lot of schools don't allow air fryers, so keep in mind, a lot of schools don't allow air fryers, but you know, it just depends on like what you need or what you want to bring. That's, you know, up to you. Do you need to bring a bike or a scooter? Now, me personally, I didn't have a scooter or a bike, but a lot of people on campus, you know, rode around with one. To me, it probably would have been easier if I would have brought one. So I would really say, yeah, it's some type of situation because I didn't bring one, so it was really cool to me, you know, to be without one, you know, walking around cool, stuff like that. But it's up to you. So I would suggest, you know, you just decide on that yourself if you want to bring one. A lot of people on my campus, they had scooters a lot, so that's up to you. Something that you know, you might like. A lot of stuff, like I know groceries, you know, over a lot of other stuff that you might need. I would suggest you do that after you get to college, like when you're moving in, your move-in day. That's when I would suggest you do stuff like that. You go and get your groceries and stuff like that because you don't really know what you might need or what can fit in your refrigerator or your dorm. So I would suggest getting that stuff like when you get there. Like if your parents can take you after y'all do y'all dorm and get all your stuff situated with your dorm, I would suggest doing that, like, you know, after. I'm not sure if I mentioned this already or before. One thing I do recommend bringing when you're in college is a caddy for your bathroom. For me personally, it was two for my dorm when I was a freshman. It was 2 people in one room, 2 people in another room, and we had one bathroom. We shared one bathroom. So to like minimize bringing all this to the bathroom, I would really, you know, suggest bringing a caddy because it might be easier for you. So I really suggest bringing a caddy. One other thing I will also recommend bringing to college when you go is a Swiffer. For me personally, I had hardwood floors when I was in college for my dorm, so it's really easier to do it with a Swiffer than a mop for me, because all you gotta do is really just take it out, put the little thing on it, and you know, you just spray and mop around. So that's one thing I really recommend bringing too, because you know, sometimes when you like leave your floor dirty, your room starts smelling like your floor. So I would really suggest bringing a Swiffer as well, so you can make sure your floors are clean and stuff like that. So this could go into like the random things that you can have in college, but one thing I would also recommend bringing is like a basket for like your medicines, like your Theraflu if you get sick, or your allergy medicine, stuff like that, because you never know what can happen at college. So I would recommend keeping stuff like that on you, just in case that you like, you might like, you need that stuff. So I would really recommend keeping that type of basket around your room or somewhere where you might need it and stuff like that. So I would really recommend keeping one of those. One more thing I also recommend, On Amazon they have these things, they're called like move-in bags. They're like big bags that you can move in. I recommend getting like at least 6 of them. They come in packs, it might be 4, some might be 6, but I really recommend getting those because they'd be a lot easier for when you're moving into college. You could just carry the bags, and you could just really organize stuff in a bag so it won't look crazy when you go in your room. So I really recommend getting the move-in bags when you go to college. I'm also gonna insert a picture of my dorm at the end of this YouTube video, so if anybody wanted to see what my dorm looked like, it'll be at the end of this video. Alright y'all, that's gonna be it for today's video. I really hope this college packing haul helped you guys out, whether you're getting ready for college, for your first year of college, or you're heading back for another semester. Hopefully I gave all y'all like some ideas and stuff of what to bring, or like even reminded y'all of what stuff, like some stuff that you really didn't need to bring to college. But yeah, if I missed anything, let me know down in the comments, because it'll help everybody else that's getting ready to go for college and stuff like that, and getting ready to move in. Also, if y'all like this video, let me know what other back to school or college videos y'all want to see from me, because I have a lot more content coming before I go back to college and some after. So as we get closer to moving, so just let me know stuff like that. But for the end of this video, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank y'all so much for watching. Stay safe and have a great first semester if this is going to be your first semester in college in the fall, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.